According to the information we received, there were moving minutes in the Kremlin palace, and short-term panic took effect. According to reports, a fire alarm was activated in the palace by a person whose identity has not been found, causing the fire bells to ring in the palace. After the incident, the authorities were removed from the palace and fire crews were transferred to the area, but after the fire crews failed to detect a fire in the palace, it became clear that the fire alarm was activated by a person who wanted to confuse the palace. After the incident, the camera recordings were examined, but since the recordings from the time of the incident were deleted, it is believed that a powerful network was the one who removed the incident. Russian President Vladimir Putin, who was in the Kremlin palace at the time of the incident, was not seen leaving the palace, so he is presumed to have been taken to the bunker.
That they will not be as productive as they once were. People have also been leaving, about 500,000 of them. That is a small portion of Russia's population of 145 million. But think about who is most likely to leave. High-skilled workers with knowledge of international immigration systems, and those with high wealth. In other words, the exact people you'd want to keep around if you wanted to maximize your country's wealth. On the other hand, there is a minor win for Putin here. They are also the people most inclined to cause domestic political trouble. But it is still a cause for concern. At the start of 2022, Russia had 101,000 high net worth individuals, those who hold $1 million or more. It is estimated that 15,000 will leave the country this year, or about 15% of them. This is enormous. By comparison, China has the next largest expected outflow at only 10,000, but they have more than 800,000 as a starting point.
UAVs from Turkey. A heavy bombardment was applied to the Antonovsky Bridge with missiles from the USA in order to defeat the Russian army again. Russian troops were surprised at what had happened. The Ukrainian army has been launching attacks on bridges in the region for several weeks, hoping to cut off the supply of Russian armies in Kherson before Russian troops launch a new counterattack. It seems that the Ukrainian troops achieved their goal and hindered the supply systems of the Russian troops. It is thought that the Russian army will implement a new tactic in the face of these obstacles, but the Zelensky administration is closing all exit routes and giving a heavy defeat to the Russian armies that are implementing an invasion attempt. According to the latest statements from the Ukrainian ministry, the Russian army continued its offensive attempts in the eastern regions of Ukraine, but succeeded in repelling Ukraine's advances. The Russian army announced that it carried out attacks and used rocket artillery in the settlements of Travniv, Yakovlivka, Soldar, Rozdalivka, Kurdyamivka, Zaitsev.
The army has established dominance over a territory it has occupied. It was reported that their ammunition, medical equipment, and even a small-scale operating room had been set up. Hearing this, the Ukrainian army immediately took action. The insurgents who circled the area where the Russians were located trapped the Russian invaders. Ukrainians, who took the region away from the Russians with a raid late in the day, sent many health kits to hospitals located in the capital Kyiv to be used for civilian citizens. The Ukrainian army, which captured 2 people from the Russian army commanders as prisoners in its raid, had Russian commanders interrogated Russian commanders by specially trained Ukrainian experts to get Russian commanders to talk and learn Russia's strategies in the coming times. In a statement from Russia, it was said that the Russian commanders will be handed over as soon as possible. The commanders have been trained at such a level that the Ukrainians have not been informed.
Into the invasion of Ukraine. If you took a cursory glance at what's going on in Russia, Vladimir Putin would appear to be in a pretty good position. Russia started the war with Ukraine like this, and has made substantial territorial gains since then, though perhaps at a high casualty count. There does not seem to be much in the way of domestic opposition to Putin's regime, either politically or in the form of active popular uprisings. And Russia's fortress economy has survived Western sanctions. Banks appear to be operational, and the ruble is trading at a significantly better rate than before the war began. But looks can be deceiving. The statistics that are widely available come straight from Moscow, and they have all sorts of incentives to misrepresent what is happening. In fact, the Russian economy is a mess, and that can unravel Putin's political stability, and in turn the Russian successes in its invasion of Ukraine. A new report finds glaring problems for Russia in 4 major issue areas: capital flight, trade, the Russian economy overall, and cash reserves. Assuming that these trends continue, and that's a big assumption, this might be the best piece of news Ukraine has received since the start of the war. The sanctions, in a single word, are working. Let's start with the
Impossible for the Russian army to win a war, to take any victories, without solving this problem. Experts say that Russia needs to make changes in its military. When novice soldiers come into conflict, they get scared and leave the battlefield. Russia's special soldiers also torture them when they catch them. This is causing the army to be in a great deal of stress. Remember this: a soldier who fights for no purpose can get victory, because he's lost everything. It is very demoralizing for Russian soldiers to see this treatment from their own country. According to a statement by a TRT correspondent, 5 Russian soldiers entered the Ukrainian ranks without surrendering. They are wearing the clothes of Ukrainian soldiers who lost their lives and are fighting against Russia. The TRT correspondent did not disclose the names of the soldiers, but said he had conducted an interview. According to them, former Russian soldiers want to take revenge on Russian President Vladimir Putin for this attitude of his country, said. Ukrainian authorities have reached out to those people. However, missiles, especially from the USA, in recent weeks will ensure the destruction of many Russian soldiers. In addition to the weapons support from the USA, the Bayraktar systems from the European allies and especially from Turkey had a great impact on the course of the war. Announcing the reports, the official said that this military loss was too much for Russia and that Russia was not prepared for such a military loss. In addition, Western media expressed how unsuccessful Putin's attempts were in this war and that his tactics did not bring success. If Putin does not withdraw from this war in a short time, the heroic Ukrainian army will defeat Russia heavily with the newly arrived modern technology weapons and defense systems. However, when the course of the war is examined, it is seen that the attacks of Russia have decreased. The reason for this is that he has recently failed in many regions he has entered and that he lost the lands he seized in the first days of the war one by one. In addition, it seems that the Russian army has no purpose and desire to fight. Even the Russian army seems to have reacted against Putin lately. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, "We are witnessing an unprecedented military attack and injustice against a country since the Second World War."
The Ukrainian armed forces has proven many different things to the whole world. It showed from the very beginning that no army is invincible, even one of the largest in the world. It shattered all the dreams of Russian President Vladimir Putin, and most importantly, it completely shattered the reputation of Putin's army. With every move it makes and with every new weapon it uses, the Ukrainian armed forces manages to do this even more. Dozens of Western systems, especially Javelin, Stinger, NLAW, Starstreak, Bayraktar TB2, and 155mm howitzers have destroyed the reputation of the Russian army. Now, American HIMARS long-range artillery has also entered this list at the top. HIMARS was heavily used in the all-out counterattack in the Kherson region, and its influence is increasing. In the past 40 days, HIMARS multiple rocket launchers have left their mark on the front and punched the Russian army at its most vulnerable points. American missiles used by the Ukraine